Hi guys, back to our next lesson, the actual building of your CMS portfolio website. Now remember we started with Wix and you were to create a Wix account based on a personal Gmail and a password. So I'm going to hope that you still remember that or that you've got that written down somewhere. And I'm going to get started. So remember that once you've done that, you need to sign in. I actually have created mine through a Gmail account. And it logs me in because I just logged out. So pretty simple. You don't have to see my email that way. So this is a website that I recently built to try to help teachers and other people navigate online teaching. So I'm just going to talk to you about the basics of Wix so that you can get started. So when you log in, if you've started or selected a template, you should see that beginning here under what's called My Site. And it's actually already got, since I've already published, it's already got the URL here. But we're going to go to where it says Site Actions and click the top down toggle. And you can actually see things that you can do with the site. You can duplicate it, rename it, view it live, trash it, do whatever you're going to do, or actually begin another site. You can build multiple sites under one email account, which is kind of cool. But I'm actually going to go to Edit Site so you can see the building process. And of course, it's going to log in. Remember, a CMS, a Controlled Management System site, is actually built off of templates on somebody else's server. So it's going to pull up My Site, and remember that you have pages that you're required to add, create, and so on. So the first thing I want you to see is look along the top. You can see that I'm on my home page. You can see that I'm on a desktop view, so I can see what my site will look like either on a computer or on a mobile phone. I can see the actual site, which gives me some ability to gather, publish, get some inside information. I seldom run off here. Settings for the site, where you can develop favicons and other really kind of advanced features. And since this is a free site, we're not going to actually mess with a lot of these. Tools, where I can actually see grid lines, rulers, toolbars. I like these two snapped because I like my objects to line up. And then you can look at being a developer, help, upgrade. You've got, you can hire a Wix partner. Folks, you don't need it. You can actually zoom in and out if you wish. This will undo, this will redo. So Apple Z will also get you to do those too, and then forward. Here's your save button. Every time you make changes, save. I've got automatic save on, and I can actually see my save history. And then publish. Now you're not going to hit publish until your website is completely done. So we're going to ignore this button. So if you notice, I can see I've got a navigation bar across the top. I've got content because this is my splash page, my main page. But what I really want to pay attention to are these buttons along the left. Okay, these are your key buttons. Notice that I've got menus and pages, backgrounds, ads, so I can add content, add applications, media. I've got a blog going, so I've actually got a blog that I can run from this site, and email marketing. Now, I really don't have to worry about marketing here, but you can see how if you were building for someone, how you could actually do that. Things to note. When I click menu and pages, I get a list of all the pages that I've created in my site. Creating a page is a simple thing. I just click Add Page. And when I do that, it adds a new page to my site. And it says, what do I want to call it? So I'm going to call it Example. And if you notice, if I shut this, I now have a new page right next to the home page that's called Example. I can even drag that page down and move it just by dragging it. And as you notice again, see how it moved in my navigation bar. Now let's go back here. Let me show you this. What about if I don't want this page to show up here? like I don't, because I have multiple pages I don't want to show up there. Here's to note, on every page to the right, there's this circle with 3 little dots. When I click on that, I have options. I can set up settings, which I'll show you in a minute. I can create SEO, search engine optimization, so that my page or pages can be found on the World Wide Web. Social share, I can actually click and make a link so I can share the page in social media. I can rename the page, copy it so that it can be used again. I can duplicate it, I can hide it, or I can make it a subpage. Subpage meaning it's going to have like a drop-down menu. I am actually going to hide this page. Now, when I do that, I want you to see how it no longer exists here, but it still is a part of my menu. See it? I'm still there. So that's how you can actually create pages that you link to other pages. So, for example, if I have a page like this, digital instruction, do you see how I have all these pictures with content? And when I click on these pictures, they take me to other pages, just like a portfolio page could do for you, where you have either pages or images or buttons that will take and direct your user to another place. That's what you want to do for your portfolio page. So literally, when I click on this image and I go to settings, I can see that this link is going to open on a page within my site. Or you can also have it linked to outside pages on the web, which is kind of cool too. So that's how simple it is to make a page. Okay, and where it says settings, here again it's going to show me all the things from that I've just set up. That is, the page is named example. It's hid from my navigation bar. I can actually choose how it's going to look as far as layouts. I can choose who gets to see it. Notice that I can create permissions. This is how I am going to lock down my site. So with my main page on my site, I am going to click this and I am going to set a password. I'm going to set the same password that I would set for every page. Don't make them different. Don't make them difficult. You will just eventually create a password. And so when you publish the website, no one will be able to access it unless they have both the link and the password. And that's under page settings, right here, this little 3 little dots, permissions. Okay? We'll go back to page info. Okay, so with this page, I now can start building on it. Here it is. It's called example. It's hid from my site menu. And I'm actually going to add some content. So I'm going to shut this aspect down. I am going to add, and look at my ads. I can add text, which is titles, paragraphs. I've got up to lots of choices. I can choose fonts. I can add headings. So let's add a heading. And that says edit text. Imagine that. There it is. I can actually choose the font. There's the font I have. I can change if I don't like it. I can make it smaller, larger, based on my selection, but it likes to see me. It likes to be able to see it. So there's my change, okay? And then what's really cool is I can then move this bar, this content, just as if it were on a Word document. And notice how I have these lines that kind of line up, and let me see the center. Now the rule to content adding, guys, is this, and you need to note this. See these highlighted lines? That is where you put the content of a page. If, for example, I add an image gallery and I make it big enough that it pulls over these grid lines, either top, bottom, right, or left, that means that thing I added will be added to every single page. That's the rule of Wix, is this is your template, this is your creative space. You have to keep that in mind. So I'm going to again here go to ads and look at all the things I can add. Galleries, which are pictures. I can make them grids, sliders, all kinds of things. I can add vector art, and this is all domain free. Now keep in mind, you want your portfolio though to look clean, professional. You're probably not going to be adding a lot of jumping critters here, but you see how you could actually do that. I could add though logos and badges if I needed those. I can add shapes. I can add lines. I can add things that are interactive. So I can have what are called hover boxes. Look at how they react. So that when my cursor drops over them, I get a reaction. These are really nice for, like for you guys, for on your portfolio page. This would look really nice. I can have slideshows, full width slideshows. Here's where I can add buttons. Buttons are simple. I can add a button. Let's go here. Here's my button. And I could call, for example, I'm going to change the text. I'm going to call this resume download. And see where it says add a link? I'm going to click on that. But I'm not going to add a link. I'm going to add a document, which then I would choose my file and upload it. So every time somebody clicked on the button, they would get my actual PDF downloaded resume. See how easy that is? Again, if anything I don't like, it's literally that simple to get rid of it or to trash it. I mean, this, folks, is easy creation. Notice that I have lists and grids I can create. I can add videos. I tend to find that instead of uploading your video from the Wix video, that you should upload it to YouTube and then add it. But you can give it a shot. If your video is not too long, you can do that. You can actually create that. Music, check it out. Your music, like that you created, has to be an MP3. Keep that in mind, that everything has to be converted to an MP3 to fit here with your album art. Social media, again, you can add social media connections, but don't add them unless you are placing the things you put on social media reflect positively. Remember, that's your digital footprint. Contact forms on your contact page. How can people email you and reach you? Menu items. Honestly, I don't know what a lightbox is. I don't know. Content manager, blogs. You can add blogs. If you're going to sell things, you can create a store. You can have people create meetings with you. You can actually add a members page where people join something. So imagine this if you're creating your own online gaming site. Pretty fun. And so you've got all kinds of frames. Like an HTML frame is, you can add things with it with HTML. You guys learned about how to embed things. You can all kinds of content maps, menus, events, calendars. Social media, PayPal buttons, you can encrypt to get paid for things, all kinds of work. So all of these are on your add menu, and that's how you build content within your site. Applications that you add will allow you, for example, to add forms, all kinds of special app comments, and honestly, unless you plan to use it for social media, etc., you don't really need that. But here's where you might want to look. You can actually add media content and creation images and pictures. And I've actually started mine. And I want you to see with media that you have options that you upload. So here's things I've uploaded to my site. But you can also look through the Wix Photo Studio. So Wix has free images that you can literally search through. And all you have, as well as free videos that you could use, that you can create search. So let's say I want to look for computers. When I do that, anything that's connected, here's a bunch of images that are domain free that I could use, as well as videos that I could actually add to my site. Like here's a video, and I could actually, for example, control. Let me change the editing. Let's see. I can make a big play button. I can change that, or I can go to my settings, and I can decide how often or how the video plays. Reset. I can change the video. Let's see if I want behaviors. Automatically, I'm clicking. How does it end? We're going to have it loop, play in slow-mo. We could have it play in slow-mo if I wanted. I mean, there's just all kinds of I could add sound to it, enable sound, all kinds of things, so that when my page actually goes live, this would play. I mean, you have so many options here, guys. So play with the features and get ready to get started to build.